If you have some gardening in your near future, then you'll be so glad you stuck around for more Explore Tulsa.
Now, Stevie, have you done any of your yard work yet?
Let's see, well, I did just buy a leaf blower.
Is your yard all leaf-free now?
I haven't taken it out of the box yet. Just going out to pick that baby out kind of wore me out. That's all the yard work I can handle.
Sounds like you need all the help that you can get. And lucky for you, the ladies at the garden truck are more than happy to do so.
Well, I think one of the things that we were searching for in a garden center was something that is not a box store. Gardening can be a very personal thing for a lot of people. There's a lot of effort that people will put into their gardens. They'll put memorable things into their gardens. So what we want to carry at the garden truck is something that's completely different than a big, huge box store experience. My name is Marcy Smith, and I am one of the owners of the Garden Trug. The Garden Trug is a boutique garden center, if you will, in South Tulsa. Before we opened up the Garden Trug in 2010, there had not been any new garden centers open up in the Tulsa area for over 20 years. We were looking at an opportunity kind of in our mid to late life in our career. We always wanted to pull something together that was related to the garden center industry. So we had an opportunity to pick up and lease this piece of property and create the Garden Trug.
I'm Sue Welch. I'm the co-owner of the Garden Trug. Gardening is such an expanded capability now. It's not just going out in your garden, digging up a hole, planting a plant. It's outdoor living. And people often cook outdoors, or they bring in their garden vegetables to cook even indoors. So the food products that we supply are very nice quality, ones you can't find everywhere, and people can use them in association with their outdoor living and gardening.
We want to have something at each turn for our guests to really have a nice, wonderful experience. We have people that come in all the time and say, I just need to be here so I can decompress and relax, and they'll just stroll through our shop. So we designed our shop so that around each curve you've got something that kind of pulls you around, very similar to a basic garden design when you're walking around someone's paths in their garden. So a very intimate experience is what we're looking for.
We've been open nearly 4 years. It was a wonderful feeling. We really created this because we wanted to create a garden center that was complete and that was interesting and unique. One that we really would get excited about shopping at. So that's how we tailored this, every aspect from the ground up.
The fairy garden trend is something that we actually didn't know about. About 3 weeks after we opened, one of our younger guests asked at the checkout, are you going to have fairy gardens? We had no idea what that was, so we said, well, we're not sure, but we'll look it up. So, you run out there and start, searching on fairy gardens, and so we became enamored with it and began looking for vendors to bring it in. So fairy gardening is a trend across the country right now that is container gardens. So anything that you could have on a full scale in a landscape, be it an arbor, a bench, a swing, pathways, a small house, you can do on a completely different scale called fairy gardening. And you can even dedicate space in your landscape to create maybe a little fairy village. The neat part about it is if you want to move a house in a fairy garden, you pick it up and you move it. If you want to move an arbor, you just pick it up and move it. Although you can spend hours tweaking and tuning and gardening, it's almost kind of like a bonsai experience where you're working, but you're working in a very tight, controlled environment.
When we opened the doors, it was very exciting. People were coming in and making comments about how we reminded them of other garden centers that were unique, either here or other places in the country, but that we were really special and they'd never seen anything like us before. Every day you make people happy. They come in, sometimes they just stroll about. We wanted to create a feeling here, an experience, and making people happy, helping them relax, just making it a place they could walk through, feel happy, possibly find something to help them complete a project successfully, but a place they would just enjoy.
I think once people kind of look around Tulsa and look at what it has to offer, it's a really great place to live. So it's also a wonderful place to garden.